The owl is one of the most universally recognized spiritual messengers, appearing across Greek, Native American, Egyptian, and Celtic traditions with a consistent message about wisdom, transition, intuition, and the unseen. But here's what most people miss. The owl doesn't show up to hand you insight. It shows up because you already have the insight, and you've been pretending you don't. There's a difference, and it's a slightly uncomfortable one. An owl showed up. Maybe it flew across your path, broad daylight, completely unexpected. Maybe it was sitting outside your window, just staring like it knew you. Or maybe it came in a dream and you woke up thinking, what was that? Or maybe it keeps appearing everywhere. Art, conversations, your phone, and you can't shake the feeling it means something. It does. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which of the 4 meanings is speaking to you right now and what it's asking you to stop ignoring. Before the symbolism, the actual animal. Because the spiritual meanings of the owls aren't random. They come directly from what it physically is. First, the head rotation. You've probably heard owls can rotate their heads 360 degrees. They can't. It's 270 degrees. Still impressive? Still extremely unsettling if you're a mouse. Here's why they have to rotate their heads at all. Owls cannot move their eyeballs. Their eyes are fixed, tubular, locked forward, completely immovable. So to see around them, they have to move their entire head. Imagine having to physically turn your whole body every time someone called your name from behind. The owl has this problem. It built a workaround. Without complaining about it, very mature. Then there's the way they fly. Silent. Owls have comb-like serrations on the edge of their feathers that break up air turbulence. They arrive without announcement. They leave the same way. Honestly, quite antisocial at parties, but very effective at everything else. The facial disc, that round dish-shaped face, functions like a satellite dish, funneling sound towards ears that are asymmetrical. One sits higher than the other, so the owl can triangulate exactly where a sound is coming from, even in complete darkness. It can locate and catch prey it cannot see. It doesn't need to see it, it knows where it is. And the eyes, large, forward-facing, built for depth and precision. The owl doesn't scan the room, it locks in. This is an animal that sees what others miss, hears what others ignores, moves without being detected, never looks in the wrong direction. So when the owls show up as a symbol, this is what it's bringing. 4 meanings, one of them is yours. Meaning 1, wisdom and discernment. Not book wisdom, discernment. The kind that comes from having moved through experience, not around it. The Greek goddess Athena kept an owl on her shoulder. Not a lion, not an eagle, an owl. Goddess of wisdom, warfare strategy, and craft. The philosopher Hegel wrote, "The owl of Minerva spreads its wings only with the falling of dusk." He meant wisdom doesn't arrive before an experience. It arrives after the dusk falls, when you've been through it. The signal, you've already have more insight than you're giving yourself credit for. Stop looking outside for confirmation of what you already know. Meaning number 2. Death, transition, and the escort. In many Native American traditions, the owl is directly associated with death. Not metaphorically. Literally, it sits at the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the departed. It crosses that boundary freely. That's precisely what makes the messenger. Now, before you close the tab, this doesn't mean someone is dying. It means something is. A chapter, a relationship, a version of yourself you've been holding on to past its natural end. Something that has genuinely completed, even if you haven't formally acknowledged it yet. In these traditions, the owl isn't a warning, it's an escort. It knows the territory between what was and what comes next better than any other creature. It shows up at endings because crossing that threshold is its entire nature. The owl appearing now is saying, yes, something real is completing, you already know what is. And I'll be here while you cross. It's not comfortable. The owl did not promise comfort. It promised you get through it with wisdom. Meaning number 3, intuition, the knowing you've been ignoring. The owl doesn't guess. It triangulates, listens, acts with precision. No second guessing, no, but what if I'm wrong? It knows and it moves. The spiritual parallel, the signal you've been receiving that you haven't acted on yet. If you've been rationalizing away what you've already feel to be true, the owl is now a direct mirror. It's asking, what do you already know that you've been pretending you don't? The owl doesn't hesitate. What would you do if you didn't? Meaning number 4, the unseen, what's operating beneath the surface. The owl's whole existence is oriented towards what cannot be immediately seen or heard. As a symbol, something is operating beneath the surface of your life right now. A dynamic, a pattern, something that will seem obvious in hindsight but isn't yet. Drop this in the comments before we go further. Which one of the 4 landed for you? Wisdom, transition, intuition, or the unseen? Naming it out loud is already part of the process. Same animal but different message depending on how it showed up. Context can shift everything. Daytime sighting, unusual. Owls are nocturnal and they know this better than anyone. A daytime owl across most traditions is a more urgent signal. Something in your life is asking for attention that can't wait for the right moment. Night sighting near your home or window. Whatever is unresolved in your immediate environment is being highlighted. The owl is pointing at your current life space specifically. You heard it, but didn't see it. Something is calling for your attention that you haven't been willing to look at directly. Most important question for any real-life sighting: what were you thinking about immediately before it appeared? That's not coincidence, that's context. If it appeared in a dream or meditation, sitting on your head or your crown, higher perspective download. You're being asked to think at a higher level about something than where you have been operating. If it's sitting on your shoulder, wisdom alongside you, not above you, support for something you've already been carrying. Staring at you, locking eyes, truth seeing, it sees through you. It's reflecting back something you already know and have been avoiding. Uncomfortable but useful. Flying ahead and leading you somewhere, guide dream, where it leads, what lies at the end, that's the context of the message. Silent, watching but not engaging, the wisdom is present. You're just not asking the right question yet. Aggressive or attacking. Urgency, not punishment, a shakeout, a clearing. Something negative is onto you and it wants to help you to release it. Rude but fair. When a symbol shows up across multiple contexts, dreams, real life, art, conversations, your phone, it's not a coincidence, it's a theme. The question isn't what does this single appearance means, it's what thread runs through all of these moments. What has been consistent across the entire period the owl has been appearing. That common denominator is what the owl is pointing towards, and the message amplifies with repetition. If it keeps showing up, it's waiting for you to notice the pattern. Before we close, this is the part that is specific to you. Signs are a form of divination, and divination works through intention. So before I show you the symbols, take one breath and ask internally, what is the owl trying to show me right now? Hold that question. Now, look at the 4 symbols. Just notice which one you are attracted to. The book. This is the wisdom signal. You already have the answer to what you've been asking. You had it for a while. You've been waiting for someone to hand you permission to trust it. Nobody is coming to do that, except this video. This book is already written. You haven't let yourself read what you already know. Now, use it. The full moon. Something real is completing. A chapter, a relationship, a version of yourself held past its natural end. The full moon marks the peak before the release, the moment of fullness just before something turns. You are already crossing. Stop waiting for it to feel ready. Keep moving. The heart. This is the intuition signal, not a thought, a feeling. Something in your body has been knowing before your mind caught up, and you've been explaining it away, rationalizing it, waiting for more evidence before you trust it. The heart already filed its report. You just haven't acted on it yet. What is it telling you? The evil eye. Something is operating beneath the surface of your life right now that you haven't named yet. A dynamic, a pattern, an energy in a situation or relationship that doesn't quite add up. Informational. The owl sees in the dark. So can you if you're willing to look directly at what you've been sidestepping. Whichever one caught to you, that's where your attention belongs right now. Now sit with this. Does this feel new? Then this is a new message. Something has been waiting for you to finally look directly at it. Or does it feel familiar? Like something you already knew but kept finding very reasonable ways to look past. Then the owl has been watching for a while, patient, silent, waiting for you to stop pretending you don't know what it's pointing at. Either way, it didn't show up randomly. It showed up because you are ready to see what you've not been quite looking at. Drop your emojis in the comments which one landed and tell me, is this a new message or has the owl been circling for a while? By the way, you're not crazy, you're just finally paying attention.